Hello all, I am Rajalakshmi. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss about finding factorial of a number using a recursive manner, and we are going to analyze the time complexity of that algorithm. So I had written the algorithm. So algorithm, the name of the algorithm is fact, and this algorithm is going to take only one argument, which is n. So the purpose of this algorithm is it is going to compute factorial of the given n using a recursive manner. The input n must be a non-negative integer, okay, and then the output that the algorithm produces n factorial. For example, if I had given 3, then the algorithm should return 3 factorial, which is 3 into 2, that is 6. The algorithm should return 6. So we are going to do the algorithm in a recursive manner. So 3 factorial, in the sense actually we will be computing 3 into 2 into 1, which is equivalent to 6. Now we will see how this algorithm is getting executed to produce the desired result. So I am calling this algorithm with fact of n is equal to 3. So the algorithm comes to execute the first line. So if n is equal to 0, here our n is 3. So 3 equal to 0, condition is false. So it comes to the else part. So in the else part we are having return fact of n minus 1. So what is n? It is 3. So n minus 1, in the sense 3 minus 1, which is 2, multiplied with this n is 3. Okay, so now once again here we are having fact of 2. So again this algorithm will be invoked with n is equal to 2 now. So fact of 2. So this is our n. So once again the algorithm comes to check if 2 equal to 0. Condition is false. So it comes to the else part. So in the else we are having return fact of n minus 1. What is n now? 2. So 2 minus 1, it is 1, multiplied with n. What is n? It is 2, right? So now again this algorithm will be invoked with fact of 1. So fact of 1, right? So once again here n, instead of n we are having as 1. So once again it comes to check if n is equal to 0, that is 1 equal to 0. Condition is false. So it comes to the else part. So in the else we are having return fact of n minus 1, which is 1 minus 1, that is 0, multiplied with n, which is 1, right? So now here we are having a function. So once again we are having a function fact of 0. So again this will be invoked fact of 0. So now it will come here if n equal to 0. Condition is, that is n is 0 here. So 0 equal to 0. Condition is true. So this call will return 1. Fact of 0. The fact of 0, the function will return 1 to the place where it has been invoked. So here the answer will be 1. Instead of fact of 0, now the answer is 1 multiplied with 1, right? So this fact of 1 return 1. So this 1 will comes here. So fact of 1, instead of fact of 1, now this function returns the value 1. So 1 into 2, that is 2. So this fact of 2, actually it returns the value 2. So that goes here. So it is 2. Fact of 2, the value is 2 multiplied with 3. So it will return 6. Fact of 3 will return 6. So in this way only the recursive algorithm computes the factorial of a number. So now we will see time complexity analysis for this algorithm. So now if we look at this algorithm, the basic operation here is multiplication, and that happens for one time for each value of n. So here it is 1, 2, 3, right? So one time for each value of n. So recursive equation. So since the basic operation is multiplication, so multiplication is the basic operation. So I am taking it as m of n. So if I want to compute the factorial of n, I need to do multiplication I need to do one multiplication, so that is plus 1, and I need m of n minus 1, right? This is in turn if I want fact of n, I should call fact of n minus 1 recursively. So if we want to solve m of n, the time required to do m of n multiplication depends on m of n minus 1. So this is if n is greater than 1, when n is equal to 0. So what happens? This is when n is greater than 0. So when n is equal to 0, actually we are not performing any multiplications here. So m of n is equal to 0 here. So once again I am telling, when n is equal to 0, when n is equal to 0, we are not performing any multiplication. So m of n is equal to 0. Now here, if n is greater than 0, we are in need of actually m of n minus 1 multiplication with this one multiplication, one more. So I am writing like this. Now we will solve m of n is equal to m of n minus 1 plus 1. So let this be equation number 1. So now we will use the method of backward substitution. Backward substitution. Okay, so now let this be equation number 1. So if I need n, to find n, I need n minus 1, right? So now put n is equal to n minus 1 in equation 1. So if I put n is equal to n minus 1, this will become m of n minus 1 is equal to m of, instead of n I am writing n minus 1 minus 1 plus 1. So this will become m of n minus 2 plus 1. So this is m of n minus 1. So let this be equation number 2. And now if I want n minus 1, I need to find the value for n minus 2, right? So put n is equal to n minus 2 in equation 1. So now what happens? M of n minus 2, instead of n we are writing n minus 2 is equal to m of, instead of n we are writing n minus 2 minus 1 plus 1. So it will become m of n minus 3 plus 1. So this is m of n minus 2. So let this be equation number 3. So now if I want to find the value of m of n minus 2, I need to know the value of m of n minus 3. So now in equation 1, I will put n is equal to n minus 3 to get the value of m of n minus 3. So now put n is equal to n minus 3 in equation 1. So we will be having m of n minus 3 is equal to m of n minus 3 minus 1 plus 1. So this will become m of n minus 4 plus 1. So this is our m of n minus 3. And so on this equation goes. If I want to find n minus 4, it will become n minus 5 plus 1, and so on it will goes. So we will write a generic term as, okay, so before writing the generic term, let me do a backward substitution. So now look at, we are having so many equations, that is a 1, 2, 3, 4 equations. Now we will do backward substitution. So find the equation which needs m of n minus 3. So m of n minus 3 is needed in equation number 3. So we have to do backward substitution. Use substitute equation 4 in equation 3. So we will be having m of n minus 2 is equal to, instead of m of n minus 3, I am writing m of n minus 4 plus 1, and here I am having this plus 1, right? So that should be written as it is. Okay, so let this be equation number 5. Okay, so now find the equation which needs the value of m of n minus 2. So m of n minus 2 is needed in the second equation, that is m of n minus 2 is present in the right hand side in second equation. So we will substitute in that. So substitute equation 5 in equation 2. So it is m of n minus 1 is equal to, instead of m of n minus 2, now we are having these three terms. So we should write it m of n minus 4 plus 1 plus 1, and here we are having plus 1, so that we will write. So this plus 1 is present in this equation. So now it will become okay. So let we number this equation as equation number 6. Now find which equation needs the value of m of n minus 1. Actually this is the value of m of n minus 1. So find the equation which needs the value of m of n minus 1. So this is the equation where m of n minus 1 is present in the right hand side. So in that equation we have to substitute the value for m of n minus 1. So substitute equation 6 in equation 1. So m of n is equal to, instead of m of n minus 1, now we are having these 4 terms. So that should be written as it is, m of n minus 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and here we are having one more plus 1. So that should be written, right? So we will consolidate from this. M of n is equal to m of n minus 4 plus 4, right? So here it is 4, and here also we are having 4. Now for ith term, this can be written as m of n is equal to m of n minus I plus I, meaning is that if it is 4, here it is 4, right? So if it is 5, here also it will be 5. If it is 6, here also it will be 6, and so on. So for ith term we will be having m of n minus I plus I. So now this is the generic equation. Okay, so using backward substitution we have to come up with the generic equation. So after finding the generic equation, now our objective is to, so this is the generic equation, m of n is equal to m of n minus I plus I. So this is the generic equation. No, so now our base case is m of 0 is equal to 0. When n is 0, then the value of m is equal to 0, right? So when we should bring this m of to this term, that is we should compare n minus I. So is equal to what we should find? Actually we should bring this to a base case, that is we should bring the base case is 0. So this we should bring. So what makes this n minus I as 0? So when my n minus I will become 0. So I am equating n minus I is equal to 0. When n is equal to I will be having m of 0 here, so it will be 0, right? So when I put n is equal to I, this term will become 0, so I can reduce it into 0. Why we are bringing this term into 0? In the sense our base case is m of 0 is equal to 0. So to bring this term to a base case, we are making a comparison that n minus I is equal to 0. So we are actually comparing these two terms, n minus I is equal to 0, and we are having n is equal to I. So wherever I occurs, now substitute, put I is equal to n in equation 7. So this is actually equation 7. So now m of n is equal to m of n minus n plus I is n. So this will become m of 0 plus n. So what is m of 0? That is 0, which is given in the base case. So this will be 0 plus n, which is n. So m of n is equal to n. So now the time complexity is equal to order of n. So the time complexity for computing factorial of a number is order of n. So one thing we should remember that after substituting, after doing backward substitution, we should form a generic equation. So from in this generic equation we should reduce this recursive part into a base case. So then only we can get a polynomial. So this is a polynomial, and from this polynomial we can say the time complexity as order of n. So that's all. Hope this video is useful for you. Thank you.